One of the biggest fears in woodworking is an expensive tool like a CNC router that just ends up collecting dust and never pays for itself. So today, I'll be walking you through exactly what I would do in the first 90 days of owning this machine to pay it off. Let's go. Now, I've done this with machines from a $6,000 machine all the way up to a $70,000 machine. So paying it off in 90 days is possible. The problem is most people approach it the wrong way. So the first thing I would do, regardless of if I have my CNC or if I'm just looking, is I would ignore the normal advice you're going to hear. And what this normal advice is learn the CNC, then go out and make a product, then force that product down somebody's throat. That has a very low success rate, and that is not how I've done it either. It just doesn't typically work. What you have to think of is what lever is going to force you to do all the other things, right? And so if we flip that, crazy thing right here, if we go out and we sell first, then you're forced to make it, and when you make stuff, you learn stuff. So let me reiterate this. Here's dominoes, right? Here's like the 4 dominoes that you're gonna have to do in your CNC journey. You're going to have to learn how to operate the CNC. You're going to have to learn how to design. You're going to have to learn how to make it. And you're also going to have to learn how to sell it, right? And the hardest one is actually learning how to sell, okay? And so if you learn how to design really, really well, that's not gonna pay off the machine, right? If you make 100 of your products, it doesn't matter because none of them are sold. And so the one domino that forces you to actually get good at CNC is selling, right? And that's so cool. And so I developed a great acronym in 7 steps on exactly how I would do this. And I'm calling the acronym ICMCF acronym, right? We're gonna go over it over the course of the video. So IKMCFEF. The very first thing is ignore advice, like we just talked about. The next thing is to know the quantity that you need to make in order to justify the cost of the machine. So let's say you bought a $4,000 machine, right? And you know that you can sell one thing for $4,000 of profit and you'd pay off your machine, right? Or you can sell 40 things for $100 in profit and pay off your machine. And the list goes on and on, all the way down to $4,001 in profit things, right? And when I look at that, if I do not have an established business, which I do not recommend, don't worry about LLCs, you're simply just trying to make a few bucks to pay off your machine. I like to be in that sweet spot, for me, probably around the $100 to the $400 in profit per product range. And that's just gonna make it easier to sell that type of quantity. Now, if you have a cabinet job and you can sell one thing for $4,000 of profit, great, right? But the likelihood of you selling a whole bunch of trinkets and gadgets and gizmos like these trays or something like that in 90 days to random people that you don't know, it's pretty hard, right? So if you're only making $10 in profit on this, you have to sell a ton of these to pay off the machine, like 400 of them, right? If you do that over 90 days, that's like 4.3 or something like that, 4.1 a day. That's pretty hard, okay? So now that we know, you know what, to pay off my machine, I'm going to sell 40 things at $100 in profit each. Great, so over 90 days, I gotta sell 40 things. That's pretty simple, right? Very, very simple. The next thing I would do is I would make the profit as simple as possible. So now, how to make the profit as simple as possible, let's just assume that this is a piece of plywood, right? It's a very small one, but imagine this is a 4x8 sheet of plywood. How to make the profit simple is, let's say you buy this sheet of plywood and you can make $200 of stuff out of it, right? So you buy this for $100 for whatever reason, and you cut out 4 things and you charge $50 for each thing, right? So a sheet of plywood costs you $100, you sell it, all the products for $200, therefore you make $100 in profit. That is simple profit math. Then all you have to do is say, you know what? I gotta sell 40 sheets of plywood worth of stuff. Very simple. What most people do, and I have made this mistake as well multiple times, is you go out and theoretically try to make the sheet of plywood, right? So now you have a shop full of tools, you have a joiner, you have a planer, you have a miter saw, you have a table saw, and you're going through the whole entire process of making the thing, right? And then you make something with your CNC and you sell it for $200, and you're like, well, I don't know what my profit is because I had to drive and go get the wood and it cost me gas, and then I planed and then my joiner broke, and then I had a Band-Aid because I cut myself, and then like it gets really convoluted, and at the end of the day, that profit is then split between all the other tools, all the amount of time that it took, and you don't actually know how much profit the CNC actually generated, okay? And remember, the whole framework of this is to pay off the machine, and I just trust me on this, once it's paid off, you will feel so good. You can then make it a hobby, have fun with it, make stuff for friends and family, grow a side hustle, make it a full-time business, but it's just such a relief when it's paid off. Let me give you another example of this. So this right here is an in-grain cutting board, right? And these are in-grain cutting board kits that CSE Workshop sells, and this is not a product plug, but this is the reason I sell them. Because to make an in-grain cutting board takes a lot of different equipment, right? And you have to go get the maple, then you have to glue it up, and you have to plane it, and then you have to cut it again on the table saw and glue it back up and surface it with a drum sander or a wide belt sander or your CNC, and then sand it down. And then to make the plug is a whole another process, right? You can get this maple base and this walnut inlay plug for $100. I'm saying that now, $100 as of this video, right? Okay. And then this board can easily sell for $200 up to $250. Just like this. Just sold one the other day, just like this, for $225. So what's the math on that? Buy base, buy kit for $100, sell for $200, make $100 in profit. Very simple, right? And I can buy 40 bases in 90 days and sell all of them, hypothetically. Now, could you make 40 bases in 90 days and 40 inlay tops and also sell them for $200? And also make them all with your CNC, right? See how hard and complicated that gets? And to me, this is one of the hardest thing for woodworkers and everybody to understand. I just really hope I'm hitting this home. So the next part of the acronym is make sure the CNC adds the value. And this kind of loops into what I was just talking about on making the profit simple. But understand that only about 1 to 2% of all woodworkers, if you're woodworking, but let's say hobby shop people, have a CNC. 1 to 2%. And so if you're having to use all this other equipment, they have that equipment. What they don't have is the CNC. So make sure the CNC is the thing that's adding the value to the product, right? Think about another term is how much value does a planer add to a board, right? It saves you a little bit of time because now you can buy it rough sawn and then plane it down and then shape your own board. But it doesn't actually add that much value, but it does kind of save you a little bit of time. Same thing with the miter saw, same thing with the drill press, same thing with the table saw, right? It more or less saves you time, but doesn't add a ton of value. You have to have all of those tools working together to actually make a valuable product. With a CNC, it is one of the only things that you can stick something on and multiply the value of that product exponentially, right? So where's I got a sign. So here's a little sign that I did on another video, right? And it's a piece of cherry. This piece of cherry cost about $3. When I engrave something into it like this piece of cherry is now worth $20. The CNC 6.5x'd the value of this board. The planer took a rough piece of cherry and planed it down. Woohoo! I saved 50 cents a board foot because I bought it rough sawn. The CNC did all the value. Nothing more complicated than that. It can get complicated, just don't make it complicated. Okay, now you're like, well, Ryan, that all sounds great. Well, how do I actually sell the dang thing, right? You've been talking about a whole bunch of mindset philosophy stuff. The next thing you're going to want to do is find a group. Not saying go on Etsy. I'm not saying open up a storefront. I'm not saying get into a whole bunch of resellers and wholesalers and boutiques. Don't do a website. I'm literally just saying find a group. Whether that's a Facebook group, the Lions Club, the Rotary Club, volunteer fire department, some type of a group that you are associated with. So if you like knives, right, and you're in some knife Facebook group, that is your group. You understand that group, they trust you, right? If you love barbecuing and you're in some barbecue Facebook group, cool. If you volunteer a lot for the high school booster club for the sports thing, right?
The team, go sports!
Okay, that's your group, right? That's your cohesion of people. So that is your customers, right? You have to just make it simple as possible. And the group could be you have a massive family and you reach out to them. Don't get family discounts, but you can reach out to them. And so that is establishing your customer base. So you're finding that group. So right now for me, I know a ton of people that are in select baseball. And so I have this big cohesion of select baseball moms that they get all of these rings whenever they complete their tournament and they need somewhere to put those rings. And so that could be the product that I'm going to push at this time, right? That is my group that I've found. And so now that you've found the group, then you then need to make and design a product for that group, okay? Did I say build up a whole inventory before you ever sold one? No, don't do that. Don't build up an inventory. Just kind of figure out what that group wants. Maybe ask them before you ever actually make something.
What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
Hey guys, what's something y'all need? Group X. And the group X is gonna say, you know what? We need knife holders for our knives because I'm collecting them and I have 1,000 of them and I need to display them. It's like, great, I can make knife display cases for you. Pretty simple, okay? So now after you find a group, you need to make a product that is easily understood, okay? And what I mean by this is you shouldn't create anything relatively new. Don't do that. Don't create a product that you have to explain what it is.
Hi, it's Vince with Sham Wow. You'll be saying wow every time you use this towel.
Think of products like yard signs, right? Cutouts for, let's say, the football team. They put their kid's name on it, or a little baseball because they're so proud, little Johnny made All-Stars, right? Cool. Like, that is a product that doesn't need a giant description around. It's like, hey, you need a yard sign? I got you, right? Hey, you need a cutting board? Everybody knows what a cutting board is. You don't have to describe this in depth. You don't need a full website for people to understand what a cutting board is, right? This is a wavy flag. Hey, you need a wavy flag? You don't have to explain this product, okay? Do not try to invent something you have to explain how to use and need to make videos around. That's for a full-fledged business, not for a 90-day pay off my CNC kind of thing, okay? So you need an easily understandable product. I did not say make 1,000 of those easily understandable products and hope they sell, right? You need to get an order from that group that you found first, or make one and post about it to that group. Pretty easy. Or find somebody that's made something similar and post about that. So the last thing is you want to focus on selling. And so I say that to show you this cool thing right here. This is a 3D thing that I made the other day, and it looks super cool, super complicated to make, right? It was very easy to make. I pressed go on my CNC, and 10 hours later, it spit out this, right? Okay, so at the very beginning, right, you need to sell first, then make, and then learn as you make. This is a prime example of that, and to really hone all this in. And so if I knew that, I was gonna sell a product around the $400 to $500 range so I can make $200 in profit per thing, right? And I know that I needed to sell 20 of these to make $4,000 in profit. This doesn't seem unreasonable to sell 20 of these things in 90 days. Does not seem unreasonable. It also does not seem unreasonable that I have to learn how to do this in 90 days. Why? Because I'm not learning how to engrave, I'm not learning how to surface stuff, I am simply learning how to run a 3D model, okay? It is possible to learn that in 90 days. And so if you would focus on selling, and let's say I made this one thing, you may only have to make 20 of these over 90 days to pay off your CNC. This is an example of a product that looks complex that to a new person, this is extremely hard. I didn't carve this, the CNC did, right? The hard part is what? Selling the thing, finding the person to buy it, okay? So just know that like anything in CNC is not actually that complicated if you have a buyer. So just remember, I come up if you want to pay off your CNC in 90 days. So if you ever have actually sold a product with your CNC and made money on it, comment down below that acronym, I come up. I really should have picked a better one, but that acronym right there, and that should motivate others that it is possible to actually make money with a CNC. So I hope you gained value from this video, and as always guys, remember, if you ain't cutting it close, you ain't cutting it right.